Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And this is going to be a first timer. This is going to be the second video we upload for the same match. Now, first is I know I curse a lot. I'm going to try to stop cursing as much. It's hard, it's just I don't know. I just grew up that way. I almost did it again right now. But yeah, so I'm just going to try to curse a lot less. Um and now that all the anger and the frustration has left me, I feel like I could properly talk to you guys about the match, right? Um, so first things first, hats off, and oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, man. Like Barcelona deserved that victory, right? You could be the most diehard Madrid fan like myself, and from the minute the whistle blew, man, they were the better team. They were the better team. We scored minute five, right? Beautiful run from Mbappe, um, and it was a beautiful goal, but and it sounds like it's a crazy thing to score that early, but even when we scored the goal, man, I never believed that we would come out victorious unless we scored again before they scored their equalizer, right? And it's because up to minute five, they missed, man, like three to four chances already, and it wasn't like some of them we got lucky, so it wasn't like they were just passing the ball for, like they were getting through, and they were just outplaying us, man, in all aspects of the field by minute five, right? Now Madrid being Madrid, we went on and scored. But like I said, if we don't score that second goal, it's gonna be a very, very long game. Um, so first things first, like I said, Barcelona deserved that victory. They outplayed us the entirety of the 90 minutes. As much as it hates me to say this, I can't pretend that it's any other way. They outplayed us completely for the entirety of the match, right? Um, right now, and it's weird, man, because it just came from losing three games at home in a row, right? But it's what's beautiful about the game, and it just makes you realize like how fast things could turn, right? In a span of a few weeks. um to your mom, man. This, like, if you guys seen my video, you guys know that as much hate as I give Barcelona, I always give him credit for, or I always give Yamal his credit. He is amazing. At the Euros last year, to be honest, I feel like he was robbed of of winning both the young player of the tournament and the player of the tournament. Yes, Rodri was essential for Spain, um, but I still think that Lamine just had a much bigger impact overall. Um, but yeah, man, that kid is a freaking generational. Oh, almost happened. But that kid is a freaking generational talent, man. And as I hate them with a passion, bro. And the only thing that I could think of is if they've dug themselves in such a big hole financially, right? Selling off all these assets to try to get players registered, pulling all these levers that they had to pull off a few years ago just to be able to sign more people, right? I just hope that they have to sell some of the core, and especially Lamine Yamal, in order to be able to buy that stuff back. Now, I told my boy that a few probably like 1 or 2 months ago, who was a diehard Barcelona. He said, "No, you're stupid." I was like, "Listen, like it's." And another thing I have to give Barcelona credit for is their academy, right? Now, the Madrid academy, like I said before, is just as good to me as the Barcelona academy. The difference is that Barcelona promotes their players, and obviously they do sell them, and you see other players like Daniel Olmo himself. He used to play for Barcelona, right? So they ship him off, but for the most part, they at least give him shots in the first team, and Madrid does not do that, right? And it's obviously we'll get to it a little bit later on with Raul Asensio, um, but I believe if PSG comes in and offers 250 mil for Lamine Yamal, right? It'd be hard pressed for me to say you should not do it considering the situation that you're in financially. Obviously, there's player wages and stuff like that goes into balancing the books. But listen, getting an influx of 250 million, something like that, when you're in that situation would be crazy, right? I don't think if Madrid was in a situation, I would not sell Lamine Yamal. But that's the only thing I could think of where we could possibly get him away from Barcelona, because this kid, man, is a menace, bro. His goal was a beautiful. It was, to me, it was more beautiful than Mbappe's first goal, right? Um, but yeah, man, from freaking having a Rahul come in, who I don't know why Barcelona want to sell him. Yes, he's injury prone, but bro, like he's a ridiculously good center back, right? So from defense to offense, they just had us beat, man. There's no other way around it. Um, they took their chances they were creating left and right. And to be honest, bro, like if they didn't get that red card for Chesney doing that, um, I don't believe we either. Obviously, we don't score that free kick from Rodrigo, but I can honestly see them going on to scoring two or three more goals. Like that's how freaking like that's how good they were and how easy it was to get through our defense, right? Okay, now to the Madrid part aspect of it. Listen, man, like, and if you've seen the videos, you know I'm not bullshitting, right? Or even just give me some more views, whatever. But you can even go back and look. I've been saying for months, right, for months, that Real Madrid has two problems, right? The one that I say the most was Mbappe, right? Now, I stick by that to this day. Now, Mbappe on the day, right, he was the best player for Madrid, right? He was coming back, taking the ball, you know, taking on 3 or 4 or 5 players until he got injured. And I'll give him credit for that because, like I said in the video from yesterday, once he got injured and had to wrap his ankle like that, I would have been okay in this one game if he just stayed forward, right, and just waited for that through ball, but he didn't. He was coming back. He was doing all the stuff that I would want Mbappe to do from the beginning of the season. Now, if he keeps on doing it, he's gonna be fucking mate. It's gonna be freaking amazing, but he just has to keep on doing it at a much more consistent basis. That's my opinion for it, right? But I'll give him his props because he fully deserves them for that game, right? Now, by chance, Vinny and Rodrigo were doing the stuff that I was complaining that Mbappe were doing. Like they were not coming back on defense, and when your defense is struggling that much, bro, that's the kind of stuff that you have to be like, whatever. Like maybe don't go into your own half, right? Like maybe just track the ball back onto the halfway line, but you gotta run, man. You gotta do something, especially when you're in that situation where you're already down by 3 goals at halftime. You have to be able to just sacrifice yourself from up there from getting, because at the end of the day, even if you score 3 goals, right? If Barcelona scores 2 more, you're still losing. You're still losing the freaking game. So you still have to come back and you still have to do your part to make sure that that does not happen. And they were not doing that. Now Rodrigo did it a little bit more than Vinny, but honestly, bro, and you guys know I love Vinny to death. He had a stinker. He had a huge stinker. Now every player is, you know, again, not entitled to it, but it's bound to happen every once in a while. It was just a horrible game for it to happen in, like the worst game for it to happen in. But yeah, man, he had a stinker. The midfield, bro, like Bellingham. To me, he's still the best young midfielder in the world, but he also had a stinker. Valverde was he. It's not that Valverde had a stinker either, bro. But he was just all over the pitch. Like he can't be doing everything that he was doing, man. He was running back, tracking on defense, covering the defense whenever Chouameni or Lucas Vasquez were somewhere else. And that's the defense is the part that's gonna kill me, because that's the second reason why I mentioned before that we were gonna struggle this season. The defense, bro. We have none. We have none. Ferland Mendy, like I've said multiple times, to me is not top tier club material. Right now, the first thing everyone says is, all right, but if you didn't clear that ball off the line in 2022, you wouldn't have won the Champions League. Yes, 100%. But he's a defender, so I'm not going to be like, all right, I'm not going to look at that one instance where he did what he was supposed to do and be like, okay, he's he's a GOAT. I'm not gonna do that. He's supposed to do that kind of stuff, and because he did it once in that very, very, very high profile game, admittedly, people are gonna just say, all right, well, he deserves it. No, he doesn't. Like, he doesn't have that quality, right? Rudiger is the only center back that we've had basically stable for the past 2 years, right? So he's been playing the majority of the games. Again, it's a player like that who's been playing for 2 years, for basically 2 years in a row. We can't just rely on him to be the sole actual defender on the back line and just think that we're gonna get away with it. Look, Chouameni is a center defensive mid. Right now online, I'm seeing a whole bunch of hate for him, and honestly, he doesn't deserve it, because Chouameni is a center defensive mid. When he plays in his position, he is very, very capable and a great player. But if you put him in a center back position, a position where he's not, where he doesn't thrive in, where he's not comfortable in, and he makes mistakes, you're doing two things. You're hurting the team, right? And you're also hurting Chouameni. because all it's doing is driving his value down. Like who, like you know what I mean? Like it makes him look bad when he's not a bad player, right? So Shulmani had a stinker in center defense in center D, right? Do I think it's all his fault? No, it also falls on the coach. It also falls on the Don for putting him there, right? But and then the other defender, Lucas Vasquez. Now, don't get me wrong. The majority of the past, like 5 years, he's been playing in that position, but that's not his natural position. Anyone who's been seeing Madrid for longer than a few years knows that he's a winger. He's a winger turn right back, in times where he's needed. And you can see that by his style of play, because because more than a few times it happened where, right, they're playing the ball, you see him, and then out of nowhere he's deep, deep in the opposition third. I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? What are you doing over there when you should be defending the back line, right? Now, I get it. He because he does contribute to offensive play, right? He has goals, he has assists, he has that stuff. But when you have that type of attacking threat already on the field, right? You have Rodrigo, you have Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinny. Camavinga was center defensive mid, but he moves up well, right? So he is also a threat in attack, right? You have Valverde, who's all over the pitch. He's always a threat in attack. Like, you don't need to be up there the entire time, especially when you started off the game just struggling in defense right off the bat. Like, what are you doing up there, bro? What are you doing up there, right? But again, he's a winger, so that's what he's going to do, right? Sometimes, like, and you guys know, like, we're just humans, right? So if we get used to something, if it's in our instinct to do something, we're just gonna do it. Sometimes we just do it without thinking. I think we've all had those times where, like, you're driving home. Next thing you know, you're home, and you're like, what the hell? Like, how? When? What happened? I don't remember the drive, right? Because you just do it instinctively, and I think that's part of, like, Lucas Vazquez's problem. He's instinctively a winger, and a winner actually, but he just keeps on going forward and forward when he shouldn't have to. And at the end of the day, those types of things have to fall back on the coach. No matter how good Ancelotti is, and he's a great coach, right? To me, I overall think he's better than Pep, right? But no matter who you talk to, you either have him you have him somewhere in the top three of top coaches this century, right? Just based on his achievements. Now, that does not mean that people cannot make mistakes. And Ancelotti this season has proven that he makes the same mistakes over and over and over again. His first stint in Madrid, right? He won the Decima in the Copa del Rey the first season. The second season, we went on a winning streak, bro. 40 plus games, winning streak, right? Not tying, not losing, winning streak. 40-game winning streak, right? We were on track to have a historic season. The bench was great. The starting 11 were great, but, like, on paper, and on paper, this is what I mean. He refused to take some players out and rotate them. He just refused to. So by the time that January came around, we had some injuries here and there. Some players were fatigued here and there. You could see it. But the reason why rotation is important is because no matter how hard you train and practice on the field, it's different. When it was different for me in high school between training, right, and actually playing a game. Imagine when it comes to the professional level. There's a difference between just training every day and actually playing and getting game time on the actual field. These players that he was bringing in to be backups to those players that I mentioned were tired, were fatigued, were injured, they did not have the legs to actually go on the field and perform to their best ability, and you saw it. So we tanked. We ended up that season winning no end of season trophies. By end of season trophies, I mean the Copa del Rey, La Liga, the Champions League. We won the Club World Cup, the UEFA Super Cup. I know, honestly, I don't remember we won the Spanish Super Cup that season. I don't believe we did. But even so, like, back then the Spanish Super Cup was a 1-game friendly in the beginning of the season. So and every trophy is important, but come on, like, everybody knows there's some trophies that matter at the end of the day a little bit more than that. Like, I would gladly give up a Copa del Rey to win a Champions League. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure, like, at least I myself would easily give up the Club World Cup, the Super Cup, or both Super Cups in order to win the main treble, the Cup, the League, and the Champions League, right? But we ended up the season with no major trophies. And it's the same thing happening again, bro. Like, he came in at the right time, right after in 2022. He came in at a time where his ability to just maneuver and just talk to players and handle all the egos in the dressing room was great, right now, and at the end, he still deserves to be there at the end of the season. Now, I always thought he was going to stay for one more season, and Xabi Alonso was going to take over in the summer, and I hope he stays for the rest of the season because he deserves it. But at this point in time, we don't need that. We need somebody who could come in and completely revolutionize the tactics and make sure that they work as a cohesive unit. Um, because man, like these like his stubbornness in playing some players strictly because he's played with them for a while or because of the name is it's killing us. It's killing us. Even the subs made no sense, right? Because you saw Chouameni and you saw Vasquez were struggling from the beginning of the game. Why did you wait until minute 60, until after we come back from break and they score their fifth goal? Why is it that then you decide to change them? Why didn't you change him off at halftime? Camavinga's an amazing player. I love him to death. He also had a stinker. Why didn't you take him off at halftime? Because he already had a yellow, and there was a few instances already in the first half where you saw him losing his temper. He could have very easily gotten a red. So why wouldn't you take him out, right? Move Chouameni to his actual position, which is center defensive mid, right, and bring in Raul Asensio. Raul Asensio who has shown his heart, right? Who has shown capability, who has shown consistency in that position, and he's an actual center back, so he knows how to track people, right? Why wouldn't you do that? I don't understand it. But you have a center, so you're playing people out of position, but you have a gifted youngster who's shown potential every single time he's played, just chilling on the bench. For what reason? Like, you don't need to do that. Worst case scenario that happens when Raul Asensio comes on is what? And by the way, when he came in, the defense looked better. It just looked better, right? But yeah, man, like I just don't get it. I don't get it. Now going forward, it'd be interesting to see what happens because obviously we're gonna go back in the transfer window. Like now, I think we have to make a signing this winter. Madrid is known for not making winter transfer signings, but what option do we have? But the thing is, the players that they're looking like Trent, right? Amazing player, amazing player. You need help on defense, bro. Like what is Trent's known weakness? His defense. What are we doing? What? Like it doesn't make any sense to me, man. It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially when you have like the attacking firepower that we have. What like why do we need more attackers? Like we need people who can solidify the back line, right, and who can help them out when they need help. Like that's the type of players that we need right now. Like we have that second player in Camavinga, right? Now, unfortunately, with everyone that we have, someone is bound to leave. To me, that player for no reason aside than even though he's great, we have Camavinga who I think is better and more versatile overall. Would be Chouameni, like he would leave, right? But if that's the case, why would you even bother making him happy and starting him in a position that is not his, right? If why wouldn't you play him in his position so he could shine, so he could get more value, so that if we do have to sell him at the end of the season, we could at the very least recoup what we paid for him. Because 80 million, like I still think he's worth 80 million. Are we gonna get 80 million for him? Hope maybe, hopefully. But if he goes on the field and starts playing more and more and more and drives out that value, it makes it a lot more realistic that we could get even more than 80 million for him, right? But yeah, man, like I don't know, man. The game, like I said, from beginning to end was a crap show for Madrid. Barcelona fans, like, listen, give you guys your flowers. You deserve it. And it's just killing me, man. It's killing me because as a Madrid fan, I've been alive for 32 years, right? Damn, I'm old as hell. I cannot remember the last time that we scored 5 goals against them, but I could very easily remember the past like 3 or 4 times that they've scored 5 goals against us. And it's crazy, right? Like a lot of it was during the Messi era, was during their golden generation. I get it, but Messi's been gone for what 3 4 years already, right? And we've been winning the entire time. Like I believe since Vinny got to Madrid, I believe Vinny has 14 trophies, right? That's for sure. But I believe this is Barcelona's fourth or fifth. So it's not like they've had a wildly successful spell either. Like, but we have. And dude, like I just want to see, like, and don't get me wrong, like 4-0, like we beat them 4-0, 4-1, back to back, multiple occasions. But man, like just 5 is a really round number, man. And it's oh god, like it just kills me because like at that point, bro, and also when Chesney got subbed off, right, and Rodrigo scored that goal, that's when normally like they turn on and they're like, okay, the comeback's coming. I swear to Aisha, even when he scored the free kick goal, the way that they were playing, I was like, bro, like it's not gonna be a comeback. It's not going to be a comeback because they were still so reclused and the defense was so vulnerable that even with 10 men on the pitch, every time Barcelona got the ball, they were making some kind of threat. So everyone had to scramble. Like you saw Valverde making these freaking these slide tackles. Why is he doing it from center mid? Because now you're taking him from center mid, right? And now he has to go back and cover Vasquez and Chouameni. Like listen, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the Cup and the Champions League this month. But yeah, man, I'm more interested in seeing how the season ends and what kind of changes are done. Listen, if Asensio does not start in the next game, right? And not even Asensio doesn't start. If Chouameni and Lucas Vasquez start in the next game again, I'm going to lose my no cursing. No cursing. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my fucking I'm going to lose my mind. And listen, man, it's been the longest video. Let me get you guys some rest. But stay tuned for the next one, guys. Later.